If you are terrified of breakage and losing inches every time you take out your braids, then this video is for you, because today I'm going to be showing you how to take down braids without breakage, without losing chunks of hair, and without spending 8 hours crying in front of your mirror. This is the exact method that saved my hair, retained my length, and helped me grow inches after every single protective style. Hi my loves, welcome back, and if you are new here, welcome. Here in this channel we talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and anything hair related. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to join the family. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to take down braids and protective styles without breakage. And without further ado, let's just get started. In order to prevent breakage and retain length from your protective styles, is not just about what you do on the day of the takedown, it's also about what you do before you take down your protective styles and what you do after you take down your protective styles. So taking down your protective styles in order to avoid breakage should be in 3 stages: before the takedown, during the takedown itself, and after the takedown. And I simplified this in the 30 days hair growth routine part of my hair growth ebook, where I give you guys a 30 days step-by-step daily plan to follow, which involves installing your protective style, how to take care of your protective style in order to grow your hair longer and healthier, what to do before taking down your protective styles, how to take down your protective styles, what to do after taking down your protective styles. So I literally broken down in very simple and easy steps. So yeah, if you have not gotten my hair growth ebook and you're interested in this, make sure to get that now. It's linked down in the description box below. So yeah, now back to this video. Like I said, there is the before stage, during the protective style takedown, and after the protective style takedown. So now let's start from before taking down your protective styles. The first thing you want to do is moisturize and seal your hair. You can do this a day prior to your takedown or 2 days prior to taking down your protective styles, and this is to make the takedown process easier, because it's going to moisturize your hair, soften up the build up, the knots, whatever tangles you have, and this will make the takedown process very easy. So this is the first thing you want to do before taking down your protective style. Next, you want to gather all your tools, whatever tools you're going to be using during the day you take down your protective style, be it your combs, your hairbrush, your products, your clip, like whatever you are going to use during the protective style takedown. Make sure you get it ready at least a night before you start taking down your protective styles, because you want that day to be as free as possible. You don't want to start your day by running around trying to gather your products, spending time and energy on that when the main process have not even started. So you want to make sure to reserve your energy as much as possible for the most important task on the day of the takedown. So that's why you should get everything you want to use ready at least a night before you take down your protective style. Now moving on to the day of the takedown itself, the first thing you want to do is to make sure that the day is fully booked for that, like for taking down your protective style, especially if you know the protective style takedown is going to be long. This is not something that should be done in a hurry. It's not something that should be done when you are trying to catch an appointment or when you have other things or other activities to do for the day, because this is going to make you rush through the process, meaning you're going to detangle your hair in a hurry, which is going to lead to breakage compared to if you take your time. So whenever you're planning to take down your protective styles, make sure that day is booked just for taking down your protective style. Moving on, the next thing you want to do is to moisturize and seal as you take down your protective style if needed. Okay, so you've already moisturized and sealed your hair like a day or 2 days prior to the takedown, but on the takedown day itself, if you feel like your hair is still dry or needs extra moisture or extra sleep, you can still go ahead and moisturize your hair. This time around, you may not need to use an oil, because the purpose of this now is just for the immediate moisture and the slippage that you are going to get from the product, so you don't necessarily have to seal. But the one you're going to do prior to the takedown day is going to involve sealing, because we want the moisture to be retained as much as possible. But on the takedown, you may choose not to use an oil. And the reason you need to moisturize your hair as you are taking down your protective style if needed is because, first of all, getting your hair moisturized is going to soften off the build-up. Like I earlier said, if there are any tangles and any knots, the moisture is going to make this easier to take down compared to if you just detangle your hair like that without any form of product. Secondly, it's going to add sleep while taking down the style. So if you are battling with knots and tangles, your fingers and your comb or brush is going to easily glide through your hair and get rid of the knots and tangles compared to where you are not adding any form of sleep. So these are the main reasons why you need to moisturize your hair on the day of the protective style takedown itself as you take down the style. Okay, moving on, the next thing you want to do is to detangle your hair in sections, like detangle each braid, each twist, each cornrow one at a time. So even if you have 100 braids on your hair, you are going to do it one at a time. Take down one braid, detangle that section, put it away and move on to the next. You are going to keep doing that until you are done with everything on your head, because some people make the mistake of taking down everything all at once, like all the braids all at once or all the cornrows all at once before they start detangling. This is very wrong and it's going to result in more breakage and more hair loss compared to when you go in section by section. So when taking down your protective style, make sure you detangle them one at a time. Moving on, the next thing you want to do is detangle starting from the ends and working your way up. Always start from the ends. Never make the mistake of detangling your hair while starting from the roots. Always start with your ends. No matter how detangled your hair look or no matter how tangle free it looks, make sure you always start from the ends and work your way up, because when you start from the ends, you are going to be getting rid of the knots and the tangles one at a time as you work your way up. But if you start from the roots, you are going to jam all the knots together, because as you are pulling down the knot from the roots towards the ends of your head, you are going to meet other knots along the way, and before you know it, you have formed a big ball of tangled hair, and these are usually more hard to detangle and result in more breakage compared to when you do it step by step by starting from the ends and working your way up. Okay, so in order to avoid this, make sure you always detangle starting from the ends. Okay, now moving on, the next thing you want to do is to use your fingers before going in with a comb or a brush. In fact, whenever you are detangling your hair, even after your protective styles takedown days, make sure you always start with your fingers before going in with a comb or a brush. Your fingers are more gentle compared to a comb or a brush. While using your fingers, you are going to physically feel the knots yourself, like individual knots, and take them down more gently compared to when you are just ripping through your hair with a comb or a brush, because firstly, your combs and your brush are not going to feel the knots and the tangles, they are just going to rip through, and secondly, they are not as gentle as your fingers. Okay, so always make sure to start with your fingers before going in with a comb or a brush. Moving on, the next thing you want to do is to have a movie playing in the background. You want to be patient, and that is why I said you want to have the day fully booked just for your hair. So this is not something that should be done in a hurry. You should have the time, you should have the patience. So that is why you need a distraction. If not, honestly, you are going to get tired and you're going to get frustrated. So you need a distraction, and my favorite way of doing this is to play a movie in the background. In fact, you can even use comedies for this, something to lighten the mood, to keep you relaxed as you take down your braids or your protective styles. Personally, I even use cartoons for this, funny cartoons, and my favorite one is Family Guy. So this makes me laugh a lot, like when I'm taking down my protective styles, and makes me feel so relaxed that before I know it, I am done. But if I decide to sit down and take down my protective styles like that without any form of distraction, like I'm sure that within 30 minutes I would be giving up already. Yeah, that's how serious it is. So you need a distraction, and that's where things like movies come in. It doesn't have to be a movie, it can be a vlog, it can be other YouTube videos. So just make sure that you are distracted, you are relaxed, you have something to keep you busy while you are taking down your protective styles. So that's it for the tips you have to consider during your protective styles takedown. Now moving on to the aftercare, like after taking down your protective style, the first thing you want to do is shampoo your hair, especially if you were in a long-term protective style, meaning your hair has been tucked away or your scalp has been tucked away for days, weeks, months without any form of thorough cleansing. So after taking down your protective styles, especially if it's a long-term protective style, you want to make sure to shampoo your hair. If you can't do this the day you took down your protective style, you can do it the next day. So this is important after taking down your protective styles. And if you were in a very long-term protective style, like you carried your protective style for months, instead of a regular shampoo, you can even use a clarifying shampoo, to get rid of the excess dirt, build up, gunk, and all of that, to be able to thoroughly cleanse and clarify your hair and your scalp. Now moving on, the next thing you want to do is to deep condition your hair. Your hair has been in a protective style for days or weeks or months without getting any form of deep conditioning, no intensive protein or moisture treatment, none of that. So that is why after taking down your protective style, you want to give your hair some TLC. A protective style is a stressful process. I can't count how many times I have said this. Protective styling is a stressful process for the hair. Even if it's protecting your hair, even if it's tucking your hair away, it is still a stressful process. Okay, the process of the installation, the fact that you are not going to be taking care of your hair as you would have if your hair is not a protective style, the fact that you're going to be manipulating your hair during the protective style takedown, like all of these are stressful for your hair strands, for your scalp. And that is why I always say for my relaxed girlies that never take down your protective style and relax your hair on the same day unless you are looking for trouble, because you are going to regret it. Okay, always take down your protective styles 2 weeks before relaxing your hair, because a relaxer process is a stressful process. Protective styling is a stressful process. So doing these two things on your hair on the same day is like you're asking for trouble, okay? So protective styles are stressful processes on the hair, on the scalp. So you want to give your hair some TLC after taking them down. And that is where things like shampooing and deep conditioning come into play, okay? So you want to make sure you deep condition your hair using both a protein deep conditioner and a moisturizing deep conditioner, or using a product that contains both protein ingredients and moisturizing ingredients. So yeah guys, that's it for the aftercare after taking down your protective styles. Okay, so you have to consider all these things where you intend to take down your protective styles: the care before taking down your protective styles, like prepping your hair and all of that, the things you have to do during the takedown itself, and the aftercare after the protective style takedown. If you can do all these things I mentioned in this video, there is no way you will not see results. Like the breakage you will get will be reduced to the barest minimum, and you'll be able to retain the length you got from your protective styles. So yeah guys, let me know in the comment section down below which of these steps you were not doing before, like which of them you have been missing, and if you are going to start implementing it moving forward. Okay, so yeah guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.